create the drawing of the angle support. The actual drawing, remember, we already did the part file in 3D. That was in the previous video. For this one, we're going to create the IDW file, which is the inventor drawing file. All right. As always, I always recommend going through this so you can actually pick your template, going through the new button to pick your template. Now, remember, we are going to create a drawing, so it's going to be an ANSI, inches, IDW, create. As a bit of a reminder, most of these drawings, I usually like them in a B size. I'm going to go and change this over, right click to edit sheet. Just a little bit of review. B size, title block on the upper right hand corner. The title block, let's go ahead and delete that one and bring in the smaller title block, just a regular ANSI A. Insert, and then go ahead and move that over to the upper right hand corner. One other thing I have not covered in the other videos, how to put your name and the title of it. That's going to be under File. iProperties is where you go and change the iProperties. Is going to bring up a dialog box. Okay, not sure why that didn't come up, but you will go under iProperties and then there you look for the options to look for author. That's where you put your name. And then the options, you'll see one that says title. You go ahead and put the title of whichever drawing you're working on. In this case in particular, this is the angle support. Okay, for our base view, we're gonna pick a orientation of the base view that I need. So let me think how I'm gonna want this. I'm gonna look at my handout, and as far as the base view, I do need to have a section view at one point that shows this part of the section so I can actually put those dimensions on there. So I think what I'll do is I think I will put that on the top view. Okay. All right. So I think what I'll do is I'll pick this orientation probably for my front view. I'm going to move this view over here. And then I'm just going to project a right side view. And I guess I'll leave a full right side view over here and then probably an isometric view. And then I think I'm going to do the top view in a section view, and I'll have to project the auxiliary view in a different command. So I'm going to hit OK to create these views. This isometric view is a little bit too big, so I'm just going to select the view itself, right-click over the frame once you see the red frame in here, edit view, and I'm going to change that to be at a smaller scale. Probably going to go half of the original size because it's really just a visual representation in isometric. I'm not going to dimension it, even though I could, but that's not really where I want to dimension it. And if you notice, that's kind of the purpose of the auxiliary view. You notice the drill holes don't really look like drill holes. They look like ellipses. So that's why we really do need to have an auxiliary view. So here I would probably create a section view of this view, a full section across from here to here. Right click, continue, and then put my top view in section like that. So that way I can be able to dimension this part right in here. But now my auxiliary view, that's the one I'm going to put in. And this is going to get a little tricky. I'm not going to have a whole lot of space in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and project my auxiliary view. So it's going to be a different one. I'm going to click on auxiliary. And like I said, to select the view, from which view do I want to project my auxiliary? I'm going to select this view right in here. And then I'm going to select the edge of where I want to, from what edge do I want to project it. So I could pick any one of these edges in here. So I'm going to select this one. And then from there, I'm going to project my auxiliary view to the top. Okay. Notice I don't have a whole lot of space in here. So what I think I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to move this view over a little bit. And then probably the auxiliary a little bit further over. And then I guess I'll grab this guy and move this guy over a little bit. Okay. The thing though is that I still have these overlapping. So you typically want to leave them orthographically aligned. In this case, I am not going to do that. I need to remove this one from the orthographic projection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the view, and I'm going to go over here to where it says break alignment. So I'm just going to be basically breaking the alignment to remove it from the orthographic projection. I'm going to click break alignment, and I have that view selected. So then that way I can just move the view over to the left. Okay. It's kind of neat that I have the cut plane line labeled so you can pretty much easily identify the fact that this is a section view. It is a top view. You want to leave it aligned most of the time, but in this case, I did need to move it out of the way because of the way my auxiliary view was projected. It's just too much in the way. It's too much in the way. All right. Okay. And as far as the auxiliary view, also, you may notice that I have all this other information over here. This is having to do with the different part. All of this has to do with this part. So that's not really something I need. So I can leave that. This would be considered a full auxiliary, which is fine, but you really do want to take the time and remove some of these other things that are not pertinent to this auxiliary view. So what you can do is you can actually select all these little object lines right in here, right click, and just simply turn off the visibility, because a lot, and it's a little tedious, but technically speaking, a lot of these things, and I think you should be able to put a circle around those things and turn off the visibility all at the same time, because again, these are all things you don't really need to see on this one auxiliary view. Once again, it is a little tedious, but it do need to take the time. There's still quite a few more that I need to remove, but remember, if you remember on the auxiliary view, you really only leave what's pertinent to this auxiliary plane, which is really just this part right in here. Is the only thing that's critical and to be shown here. So there's a lot of other things you need to remove, turn off the visibility. So go ahead and do that on your own, and then proceed with the drawing. I'm not going to continue with the video because this is really all the only thing that I needed to show you. The rest of it, you can just go and start annotating and start placing your dimensions wherever you need your dimensions. On the thickness of it here, don't forget to put your center marks wherever you need center marks. You also need to put your center bisectors, center line bisectors between the hidden lines, so you can start annotating all your hidden lines right in here. So just all those little critical things that we need to do with center lines and then dimensions, and that's how you draw an auxiliary view drawing. Don't forget that we do need to submit as a PDF. And as a reminder, you go File, once it's finished, of course, File, Export PDF.